Hi everyone, it's Thursday night, 8:30. That means it's time for GG Gaming Gone Mad. Looking forward to a massive sporting weekend ahead. Must admit, on a personal front, I've had a busy week. Haven't been able to do quite the research that I normally do, but fortunately, so many experts out there on the likes of the Good for the Game forum, they do our research for us. But good to be with you. Before you do anything else, if you're watching our shows for the first time, go down to the bottom of this video, click the subscribe button and hit the little bell. Make sure you get notified of any of our live videos. And also, of course, any uploads that we do. Do stay on the line if you're with us now and link in with our handicap show. That's our flagship rugby betting show that starts at 9 o'clock. Let's get into the action, though. There's no Gary Lentin this week, but joining us from Cape Town is Justin. Justin, good to have you back on the show.
Thanks, Brent. Thanks for having me. Good to be back. And yeah, as you said, it's a massive rugby week ahead. There's a lot of Super Rugby and Six Nations to look forward to, so there's a lot to talk about.
So just to mention, we've obviously got our live guys on the chat as well. So guys, thanks very much. We won't be forgetting about you. Aside from looking at your comments, we'll be running a 500 Rand voucher competition. And later, I just realized I've got to get my earphones in. So I'm going to actually ask my wife if she can go fetch my earphones for me. Hopefully she will, because otherwise it's going to come blaring out there. But yeah, we'll have a competition for the 500 Rand as usual, and we'll also have a Twitter competition, a Beat the Cert, a little bit later. But Justin, before we get into the games themselves, the Master Punter competition, the boys are struggling in both comps, eh? I mean, I'm kicking myself for going out. I got a bit aggressive, and I really should have hung in there because what's the leaderboard looking like?
Brent, I can get the leaderboard out for you here. You are right. The guys are struggling a little bit. In the Platinum competition, we got PB on 5,533, so just a little bit more than what he started with. Then we got Coil on 2,000 and Rowan Furry on 1,310. So, I mean, if you had put your money in at the end of Jan and maybe hold out till sort of the end of Feb, looking at, and targeting some Super Rugby games, you could have been in the money there. And then with the gold, we've got Nighthawk with 2,130, Snail 1,200, and Lockie 1,151. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think this attracted as much traction as the last Master Punter sometime last year. But yeah, I think it's been a tough month to predict results, and not that much rugby and whatnot available to pick from. So.
Yeah, and a couple of the guys, I think, because last year we had the last competition we had the horse racing, guys felt the need to go aggressive early because the numbers were so big. But the reality, as you say, if you're taking a more conservative stance, you probably would have been okay this time around. I've got my earphones in, so we'll be linking up with the live chat guys now as well. But we'll just quickly, before we get on to the games themselves, you're also saying from a GG Gaming perspective, you've been pretty busy, though, with all the rugby. That's where the punters are steaming in for, eh?
No, it's been extremely busy towards this end of Feb now. Obviously, with the start of Super Rugby last year, last week, some big money came in. We actually, as a company, got quite unfortunate with some of the results, with some of the pluses and the outrights landing with those middles between 1 and 7 in a few of the games. But yeah, another big week of Super Rugby, and a lot of money's been put on already during the course of this week. So looking forward to the weekend ahead.
It's going to be a good one. A lot of the boys in the live chat wishing Coil the best of luck. Coil, a regular, a good mate of mine on the Good for the Game forum. And Rowan Furry, don't write that guy off. He might be a little bit off the lead at this stage, but he could be a big runner as well. Justin, let's get into some of the Super Rugby games. Any that really catch your eye this weekend? I mean, the local derby, Stormers against the Lions. Stormers absolutely atrocious last week against the Bulls, hammered by 37 points. And I saw as big as 9.5 early in the week, but the handicap seems to have settled about plus 6.5 Stormers, minus 6.5 Lions, who, of course, got a win last week, but have had to travel back from Argentina. Exactly,
Brent. I think there was a little bit of overreaction of the markets with the Stormers getting pumped like they did, and the Lions beating the handicap against the Jags. I think otherwise we probably would have seen closer to a choice game at Newlands. But yeah, the Bulls really impressed me. The Stormers were absolutely horrible. Nothing much to say there. And then I actually ended up watching the Lions-Jags game that I think started at 11:30 local time here. It wasn't the best game, but I thought Lions were decent. Their defense was all right. They didn't show much on attack. I don't know if it was a bad Jags outfit or whether Lions did all right. So. But this weekend, I really fancy the Stormers to at least beat the handicap, if not beat the Lions at Newlands.
Right, on the 6.5. I must tell you, I must be getting old. I really wanted to stay up for that Lions game, but I just couldn't make it last Saturday. And I've got a feeling this weekend's going to be more of the same for me. So just to mention to the guys, Justin likes the Stormers plus 6.5. That'll be the Beat the Cert competition this week. I will bring up a slide at the end, so you don't have to scramble to do anything. You'll have a bit of time to do that one. It's going to be a Twitter competition. You will have to tweet the link to the show in the usual hashtags, and we'll have a R1,000 betting voucher if Justin's cert gets beat there. And a game that I see you've got a price boost on, Justin, is the Sharks against the Blues. The Blues 8-10. I see you guys have pushed them out to even money, and while you're talking, I'll just bring that up on screen.
Yeah, so originally when we capped the games on Sunday, I think, before all the overseas bookies and stuff came out, we had Sharks, I think, around the -4, -5 figure. And I think that's just generally where the market thought it would come out. So when it came out as Sharks +4, I think on Monday morning, it was a big shock. So Blues even money, we happy to lay that, and a lot of people have come for that. So Blues did do well last weekend. I thought it looked like a much improved Blues outfit from previous years, and it looks things are ticking there. But the Sharks also look settled. They look good. They got some momentum from the Currie Cup and a good win in Singapore. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it'll be decided by much either way, but I think the Sharks will take it.
Right, well, let's have a look there. I see it has been bouncing up on screen, but there's the price boost. Sharks v Blues. You can get now even money, the Blues. Now, let's also run our competition for the live chat, guys, on this as well. Guys, so if you're watching there, we want to know how many points, which team's going to win this game and by how many points. And the one who gets closest will win a R500 betting voucher. Well done to Couch Critic, Hein de Mont. He got closest last week, and he won that R500 voucher. We didn't have a win over our cricket voucher because no one saw Sri Lanka coming back to win that game. And I've got to ask you about that, Justin. At this point, I mean, did anyone see that coming? I mean, as bookmakers, you must have been laying really short prices about the Proteas.
No, it was actually incredible. We weren't doing the test match in play, so there wasn't much. We didn't have a money interest in it, but obviously during the week there's not much sport on, so we had the cricket on and we were watching, keeping a close eye. And I think Sri Lanka went out to 100 or 150 to 1. I think you could have even got 200 to 1 at one stage. So yeah, that was just incredible, and a great knock by Pereira, the lefty. It was phenomenal.
Well, interesting to see. Just scanning down, the predictions are coming in. Ruan Fari, Blues by 6, Hendrik Swart, Sharks by 8. Looks like quite a fair mix here, though. Quite a bit of support for the Sharks. Kevin Turner, good to see him on the show. Sharks by 4. Sean Nicholas, one of the shrewdest rugger bugger on the Good for the Game forum. Sharks by 2. So the guys are pouring in. I would have to say that sentiment is with the Sharks here, Justin, which I guess probably the way you guys are leaning as well. But I do, as you say, anticipate that support is going to continue coming for the Blues, because this really does look like a pick-em game.
Yeah. As you said, Brent, it could literally go either way. The Blues looked really impressive against the Crusaders. I thought they got good front football. They went over the advantage line with relative ease, and especially in the second half. First half, they were a bit shambolic. But yeah, I think Blues are going to be a side to look out for. And I think when they've been the perennial underachievers in the New Zealand Conference, I think they're going to be up there this year. And I think maybe not for conference honours, but maybe around mid-table for the New Zealand Conference could be a good shot.
Right, well, I certainly like my total points line. It's going to be interesting to see what they come out there in the Sharks game, because normally this time of year in Durban, it's incredibly humid. And quite often, if you get a points line somewhere around 53, 54, I'd probably looking to go unders on that one. Sean Nicholas actually saying Sharks total points by 55. He's covering himself in case I change the rules of the competition to the total points on this one as well. Then aside from that, though, Justin, we've got some big Six Nations rugby. Any money? I know the handicaps tend to be much more stable on that, but there is quite a bit of team news out. Ireland look to be fielding a bit of a weakened pack. Where the punters coming for on those?
Quite a lot of money's come for France, actually. I think there was a lot of team news about Scotland and injuries. Finn Russell, Stuart Hogg, Hugh Jones, all missing. And I think everyone's expecting the French to really target this game as possibly one of their only games they could win in the Six Nations. And Scotland haven't been performing like they have in the last 1 to 2 years. So they are ripe for the picking. But yeah, I think the handicap's around 5.5. At that, I'm really undecided. I wouldn't know where to go.
Yeah, it looks a bit of a tough one on the Six Nations. And we're going to be talking on our handicap show after this. We've got 10 games of rugby to talk about, and I've got 3 guests. So I had to say to the guys, look, pick your best games because, geez, we could have a 3-hour show talking about all the rugby that's taking place this weekend. But certainly looking forward to that. Haven't got any firm fancy on the Six Nations. So I do think that England are going to be a bit too strong for the Welsh. Let's have a look at some of the other sport on this weekend, Justin. Of course, English Premier League, the big game. It's Manchester United up against Liverpool. United beaten in Europe a couple of weeks ago. Liverpool struggled to a draw in Europe. And the question is, are Liverpool vulnerable now? Do we see Manchester United putting a dent into their title hopes?
Brent, I must be honest, I'm not an English Premier League connoisseur, but yeah, I think as a neutral, it'll be a great game to watch. I think obviously United have been great under Solskjaer, and Liverpool have been great all season. So I think it'll, from a neutral perspective, it'll be an awesome game. And I think if I had to have a punt, I'd maybe go more of an exotic market, like a both teams to score or something like that. I think I'd probably avoid the outright. I haven't even checked what the odds are, but yeah.
Well, I'm on your site at the moment. In fact, let me share my screen and I'll go in there because I then want to go into your beat the cert bet. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we can go and have a look at that. Let's have a look there. So we got 2-1 on Manchester United, 13-10 Liverpool, and 24-10 the draw. And if I just click on that, just to give people an indication of the sort of number of markets we're looking at. And the other thing you're probably getting an indication of is that my Wi-Fi is not exactly on top form, going a little bit slowly tonight. And we'll see if we can find a couple of other markets there. Total goals over 2.5 goals at 15-20, and you can get just under 11-10 on under 2.5 goals. Both teams to score yes at 6-10 and no at 13-10. So I'm expecting plenty of interest in that game from a punting perspective. And while I'm sharing the screen, though, let me pop on to Justin's beat the cert this week. We'll just make it a little bit bigger there. So Justin is going Stormers plus 6.5 at 9-10, and you can win R1,000 free bet if you're closest and the cert is beaten. Whoops, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. There we go. We just take it like that. And to enter, you've got to tweet at Brent Graham. You must put a link to the show. I didn't have that in last week, so just to mention, you must put a link to the show, and you've got to use the hashtag GGGaming Gone Mad. You've got a bit of time to get that in, as long as you get that done before kickoff of the Stormers game. And if Justin's bet, the Stormers plus 6.5 misses, well, then you are going to get, and you're closest with your prediction there of the Stormers v Lions and the total points, then you will get yourself a R1,000 betting voucher with GG Gaming. Justin, that pretty much brings us to the end of the show. Just a quick word on Varsity Cup. Are you seeing the turnovers pick up from a bookmaker's perspective? And are you going to be out nice and early with the handicaps come Monday?
Yeah, as the Varsity Cup's been going on, more and more money's been placed, which is nice. I think obviously punters are also looking for something to bet on after a busy weekend. So that's been good. And I haven't had a look at the fixtures, but I'll try to get those out before the weekend. Possibly Sunday would be a good day to get those caps out.
Excellent. Well, we got a question for you on the live chat, Justin. Andrew Litke, I'm not sure if you know him or not, but I gather from your laugh that you probably do. He said he likes to bet on any-time try score, and his tactic is to target a hooker who scores off a rolling maul. First of all, let me tell you, Andrew, join us on the Good for the Game forum. We all love that tactic. We love getting on the hookers. Couch Critic last week hitting the Brumbies hooker at 25-1. Could you ask Justin, who has the best rolling thunder maul in Super Rugby?
No, I know Lucky very well. I think he's just taking a little bit of the piss there, but he's not a bad punter himself.
Excellent, man. Well, listen, thanks to all the guys on the live chat. Remember, stay close because we're going to have the handicap show coming up in around 15 minutes' time. And, yeah, Justin, lots to look forward to for all the GG Gaming punters. Thanks very much for joining us on the show. And let's see if your cert arrives, eh?
Okay, cool, Brent. Thanks for having me, and all the best for the weekend. Enjoy the rugby.
Excellent. Give our best to Gary as well. Thanks very much for watching the show. Remember, you can subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. In 15 minutes, we'll have the handicap. And look out Sunday morning. I'll be doing my super handicapping rugby show where we actually handicap the week 3 fixtures. I know last time GGGaming were one of the first ones out. But I will also be having a couple of guys link up with me in the live chat, including an Australian bookmaker. So that's going to be quite interesting. We'll see what happens there. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and see you in about 15 minutes for the handicap.